there's something about reconnecting with an old Army battle buddy. Just brings back all these nostalgic memories. I'll tell that story next. Trust and believe. Thank you, everybody. Now, today's episode is different. It's a little different from previous NOMADCAST episodes. Today, I'll be having a sit-down conversation with one of my old Army battle buddies, as you can see here in the thumbnail. We're going to be talking about everything under the sun, life, growing up in the Army, after the Army, so on and so forth. So sit back, relax. Let's enjoy this NOMADCAST presents the interview. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. You are tuned into episode 122 of the NOMADCAST. I'm your host, Mr. Anderson. Got a special guest in the building today, a distinguished gentleman, honorable gentleman, a gentleman I served with way back in 2017 to 2018, Camp Casey, South Korea, in the almighty Blacksmith Battalion, 70th BSB. He was the HSC headquarters company, first sergeant, tip of the spear, a man that was, all about the seniors, the peers, and subordinates. Everybody wanted to introduce the retired, I want to emphasize the retired Army First Sergeant, Mr. Frazer.
What's going on?
What's up, man? Walking through. So everything's good?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everything's good.
Yeah, man. So it's been a while. You left Korea in what? The summer of 18, right?
Yep. May, June.
Yeah, it's like May, June, because I left in August of 18.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I don't know, you probably share the same sentiments. No matter all the units that we ever served in with the Army, you always remember, of course, you always remember the bad ones. But 70th BSB, HHC, it always holds, at least for me, it holds a special place in my heart. I still talk about this unit, and I ain't even been in the unit 5 years. You know what I mean? But
right.
It always holds a special place. We're talking about Sergeant Major Brown, you know what I'm saying, the battalion commander, Captain Carl, all of these folks, man. It's just
that was one of those gems, man. It was like perfect timing, all the perfect people at the right time, right place. I still talk about it now. I've been putting plugs in these people there at AMC, about Sergeant Major Brown and old Colonel Donahue.
Colonel Donahue, yeah. I still talk to Sergeant Major and as you as well, Colonel Donahue and Major Coffee, all those folks, man. Like you said, it was a perfect storm.
Yep.
Perfect storm. Yeah, man. All right, man. You want to go ahead and get into it?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about your upbringing. The roots of the name Frazer, how it all started for you.
For me, well, I'm from the Virgin Islands, born and raised, stayed there. I left to join the Army when I was 20 years old. My mom and dad worked, and my dad was one of those typical strict, hey, he was no nonsense. But once we got at a certain age, he's more like, his frame of mind was always like, hey, I can raise you. But once we got to about 15 and 16, he used to tell us all the time, hey, really, like, I understand. All I can do right now is give you advice. It's up to you whether you want to follow it. But his motto was always, if you grown enough to make your own decisions and do what you want to do, you grown enough to live with the consequences of whatever your decisions are.
Exactly.
So it was always, like I tell him now, even when my friends were going out and stuff, I would do stuff, but I knew there was a limit to what I would do, because my dad would tell us in a minute, hey, you do something to wind up in jail, that's where you're going to sit.
Yeah, exactly.
So when we go around my parents, like, they grandparents now, so, they all nice and stuff. I tell my kids, I say, hey, when we were young, man, they let us know they loved us by let us know they didn't care about us. Like, hey, you do something stupid, that's you.
It's like we tell ours, these ain't the dudes that we grew up with.
Yeah. Hey, I can remember being in high school, 16, 17, wanting to go out. And my dad said, hey, well, you need to be back by 11. I'm like, the Cardinals ain't really going to start jumping till about 11. He just looked at me like, you want to go or not?
Right, exactly. Yeah, man.
You can go and be back by 11, or you can not go at all.
What's that old saying? Nothing good happens after midnight.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun, man. I got a lot of friends that I still talk to now.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna meet up from time to time and talking about all the old days, all the crazy. So one thing I can say, as much as technology and everything is good, we would just talk about, man, we just get up on a Saturday, jump on the bike.
Yeah.
And go around the neighborhood and start rallying people up, man. And we'd be outside all day. So our parents really ain't had to worry like how we got to worry about entertaining kids, because they want to stay in the house all day. They know, hey, you out. Just be home by this time. That's it. We get on our bikes and ride to the beach.
Yeah, and then if you came back home, don't be going in and out that door. Get you some water and bye.
Yeah. My grandma, she'll lock you out. She'll tell you the first time. You got one more time to come in here.
Yeah.
Come back in, she's gonna lock the door. You ain't going back outside.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think that's
like, you just let 3 mosquitoes in line.
I think that was consistent no matter what, race or creed, whatever. I think we all can relate to that.
Oh yeah.
Either the parent, the mother at home, the dad at home, or the grandmother, or the old school uncles. Hey man, go back out there. You don't need no more water,
Oh yeah. Kids nowadays do the same thing we used to do. Try to, because all the adults was inside, sitting around the table, telling stories, trying to be nosy. Be like, no, y'all get outside. go outside and play. Grown folk stuff going on.
That's grown folk stuff going on.
Yeah.
And you can't even eat with us. Go eat in the kitchen at the kid table. Yeah, man.
It was lovely, though. I enjoyed my childhood. But like I say, my dad was strict. He was like, hey, get good grades, that's your job. If you get good grades, and don't embarrass me or your mom. And at that time, when I was growing up, it was truly a village, man. Like, hey, I know my neighbor would snatch me up sometimes. Like, hey, what you doing?
Yeah.
You ain't supposed to be doing that. Yeah. And it wasn't you couldn't go tell your dad, hey, Mr. Such and Such yelled at me. What would you do?
Exactly. And I think that's what's lost nowadays, because now we don't, like you said, that village is burned down in a sense. We don't have that no more where, like with us, we would go down the street. Miss Lewis knew, hey, your mom said you can't go over here. Why you down there?
Right.
And they will snatch you up. So you had to deal with Miss Lewis, Mr. Jenkins, and all these folks. And then you still got to come home and pay the piper.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're going to call your parents and be like, yeah, I saw your son. I had to snatch him up and send him on his way because he was down here doing something more.
Yeah.
My daughters, they grown now. But I tell them, man, I said, y'all, the era that we grew up in, man, it was just like, hey, even the people, the little, the man on the block and stuff, they'll leave it alone. At a certain, like, they knew my dad, so they'd be like, hey, don't try to get them into nothing. he ain't gonna have it. Man. They used to tell me that, your dad ain't going to. Like, yeah, let me go on.
How many brothers and sisters you have?
So I got 5 brothers and 2 sisters. Yep. So my mom had a daughter when she met my dad. My dad had a son when they met. Then they had 4 more boys together. And then my dad, I have an older brother that's a year older than me. I have a younger brother that's a year younger than me. The one that's a year younger than me, my dad, he got a daughter that's the same age as that. She was born in May. The other brother, my brother, was born in September. Yeah, so, but then family was a big thing. I know I can remember Sundays, every Sunday, we had breakfast. My dad used to cook. He used to make juices from scratch.
Yeah.
Biscuits. Every Sunday we eat, it'd be biscuits. And as I got older, man, I was like, man, I know they ain't had a lot of money, but they made sure we had everything.
Yeah,
we ain't never had the bags for nothing. It was
the old school parents. They learned how to stretch that dollar.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, you got the money how you got the money. You just got to get the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. You know, I took my daughter home last summer, and I was showing. I was like, "Yeah, man, like, you know, I can remember being 9, 10 years old, man, and my mom would hand us some money in a grocery list. You know, you walk to the store, go grocery shopping, and walk back.
Exactly. And it's funny you say that. It's like our son he's about to be 15. And you know, just like you said, when we were younger, you had to do that. You walk past, you know, whoever you walk past to get to the store. Yeah. But it's like my son, it's like, I want to go to the store. All right, let's go. You know, you know, I don't know if it's just society has changed or we're parents now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy. And she was like, "What? Y'all used to walk all the way?" I'm like, "Yeah." I told her, I said, when I was 11, 12 years old, you know, in the summertime, man, I was walking to the store, bagging groceries.
Yeah.
For snack money, you know, I go cut people grass, wash cars.
Yeah.
We did whatever, man.
It was, in our case, we did that in you know, we had snow in Detroit, so you shoveling snow, you doing all sorts of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But now it's just different now.
Yeah, but I tell her, I said, it builds character, man. That stuff, it made us, like, we had a little reunion with some guys that I played baseball with growing up, and our coach was there. He was talking about that. He's like, yeah, he said, you know, that type of stuff when you learn, it made you street smart. You know who to hang around, who not to hang around, who you need to walk past, who you need to cross the street and get away from.
Now go ahead.
Yeah, I told him it was at that time when we were young, we didn't know, but our parents, you know, sometimes they'll tell you, hey, go down here and get this and this from Miss Maggie. We had a lady named Miss Maggie. She used to sell like candy and plates of food and stuff. Mm-hmm. And my dad would make stuff. Like he used to make, like I said, we had a lot of fruits and stuff in our backyard. So he'll make juices, you know, different stuff for people. And they'll come together. They'll be like, "I'll pay you next week." And he'll just, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know? And then maybe next week, you know, he, like I say, on Sundays, breakfast, we had a big breakfast. And then I think, because that's what I explain to my daughters all the time, cousins, like we all used to meet up with my grandmother's house, man, and it was like, it's about 15, 16, 17 of us, all around the same age, you know, so it was like, hey, my mom probably didn't have to cook a whole lunch, but, you know, she'll make some rice and some macaroni. You know, my aunt would make some oxtails, my other aunt would make some chicken, my dad would make some drinks, and they put it all together, feed everybody. Everybody got food to take home. And that's just how it was.
That's how it was. And you had, not only did you was eating right then, you had enough for a couple of days later.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, it was just a different time, man. You said something right when you was talking about, you said your dad told you it builds character. And that used to remind me whenever we would have to stay late in formation and like the junior enlisted. Well, we got to stay late. You was like, it builds character. Fall in.
Yeah. Hey, I tell you, man, I had we'll probably get into it later. I had a first sergeant at Fort SILL, man. That was first sergeant short. That man was, everything that I did was probably a mini-me of how he was. I remember him I talked to him all the time. He was one of them guys he was 13 Bravo too, but he knew supply, he knew power, he knew maintenance, he knew everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's one of those. I got lucky. I was lucky in the Army, man.
Well, since you're saying that, you want to just go ahead. You want to just transition to why you enlisted, and then we can just pick it up from there. All right. So let's start at the beginning. Going down to the recruiting station. What was that experience like?
So for me, it's crazy. So my recruiter, I had thought about joining her when my daughter was born. I was 19, she was born. So I had a recruiter, man. I didn't even know he was in the Army. Like, we used to be on the basketball court, be playing basketball. I guess that was like his little recruiting tactic. He would come around, hang around, you know, just be like one of the people. He'd be like, hey, this dude got a nice car.
Yeah.
Dress real nice. He's like, what you do? I asked him one day, like, what you do? He's like, hey, man, give me a call tomorrow. I gave him a call. He like, hey, just meet me down here. Got down there. He was in his uniform and stuff. And I'm like, he's like, I know what you about to say. He said, but just hear me out for a minute. And he sat me down. And you know what? He told me this. He's like, I'm not even going to tell you got to do 20 years. He said, but in 4 years, most of your classmates probably be graduating from college, trying to search for a job, pay back their student loans or whatever. He said, you know, in 4 years, he said, you will have 4 years of job experience. He said, you'll learn things, you'll meet people, and you'll go places. Like, you know, he's like, I know you don't want to stay here all. That was my big thing. I was like, I don't want to stay here my whole life.
Because you were still in the Virgin Islands then, right?
Yep. So, Sergeant First Class Anderson. That was my recruiter's name. Yep, I still remember it. And same thing. Like, I got lucky. Like, I got the basic and heard all these terrible recruiting stories, man. And I was like, I don't know. Two things he told me. He's like, hey, don't raise your hand for nothing. He said, but most importantly, pack you an overnight bag. He said, don't go up there with no whole bunch of luggage.
Yeah.
And when I got there, I saw people, you know, falling off the bus with these suitcases, you know, drill sergeant, like, oh, they think they're going to band camp. Oh.
Right.
You know, you gonna carry that.
Yeah, trust and believe that.
yeah. He took care. But that was mainly it was my daughter, man, because I was like, hey, you know, I got a daughter. At that time, I was working security. I was working security at Kmart overnight. And I was working at Western Auto in the daytime. I worked from 10 to 6, 10 at night to 6 in the morning at Kmart. And I used to go, my girlfriend at the time, we'd go over there, hang out with her, play with my daughter for a little bit, catch little naps. And I was young then, I could do that.
Yeah. And
I get up, go to Western Auto at 2 o'clock, work from 2 to 8, get a little break.
Right back at it.
Came out at 10. Yeah.
Right back at it.
Yeah, I was like, I want my daughter to have good things. I tell her all the time, she saved my life. I said, well, if it wasn't for you, you know, telling what I probably would have been in the Virgin Islands with about 6 or 7 kids, just all over the damn place.
Yeah. And it's amazing how, that's why I used to tell cats when I was a recruiter, all right, we're good.
Yeah.
Now, I was saying, you know, you talk about your recruiter. And I used to tell these cats when I was a recruiter, you come in the office, I'm not going to tell you about this whole dream, 20 years, 25 years and all that. You're working at White Castle, you're working at Burger King. Unless you are there to try to be a supervisor or something, you're wasting your time.
Right.
And all these cats you hanging out with, trust and believe they're going to be there 4 years from now doing the same stuff. So challenge yourself and do something different.
Yep. I tell people, I just tell soldiers that. I'm like, hey man, you can get 4 years and do it. And at that time, I was like, when I was in private, you know, we didn't have school, online college, or none of that. Yeah. It was you just doing the Army. Yeah. But I tell him, I said, man, he didn't try to. He really didn't recruit me. He recruit me with mental things. Because I just sit and be like, man, this guy, you know, what the hell did he do? I need a job like that. Right. And it was like, that was my join the Army story. Left. The only thing I told him was, how fast can I leave? And I signed up June 17th. And July 24th, I was heading to basic training. Yeah. So walk me through, because we met each other when you were still the first sergeant. Walk me through from first duty station to the time you got to, let's say first duty station up until retirement. What was that experience like? Oh, it was lovely, man. I can remember, so crazy. I went to AIT, you know, Fort Lee, graduated in November 20th, 1996. Graduated from AIT. I didn't take leave. I didn't do HRAP, none of that. I went straight to Germany because the drill sergeant was like, hey, don't waste your leave. Wait till you get there. Right. So you can come home for Christmas. Yep. So went there, got there. I think I reported, by the time I got there and got to my unit, it was like the 23rd, right before Thanksgiving. So my unit was in the field. They were coming back from the field for Thanksgiving. Yeah. So got there. That's when I got introduced to smoke. Yeah. So we had, that back then, you know, used to go meet the First Army, lined up, you know, private such and such reporting.
Yeah.
Stand at parade rest, he lining you up, like, okay. So then smoke comes in, and it's me, it was about 4 of us. Another supply guy, we had an NBC guy, and we had a couple 13 Bravos. I was in well, most of my units coming up with artillery units.
Yeah.
So, you know, we doing what the drill song told us, you know. Yes, Sergeant. No, Sergeant.
Right.
First Sergeant is talking. Yes, First Sergeant. No, First Sergeant. Smoke Sergeant talking. Yes, Sergeant. And one of the guys that was next to me, Baker, he was the NBC guy. He's like, yes, Sergeant. He's like, are you coming to Charlie Battery? He's like, yes, Sergeant. And he stopped, and he looked at him. He said, let me tell you something. You call me Sergeant again, I'm going to whoop your ass. I'm Smoke, damn it.
Yeah.
And right on cue, Baker said, yes, Sergeant. Hey, he went on. But after that, you know, hey, look, crazy story. So from there we went to the field a lot. I used to tell people all the time, at 1-6 FA, they put the field and field artillery. We stayed in the field.
Yeah.
But it was like a work hard, play hard type of situation, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, I kind of missed that. Like I used to tell, you know, like when the soldiers were on extra duty and I was the first one, I go talk to them and I tell them, man, like I remember even when I was an AIT platoon sergeant, I would tell the privates, man, like, you know, when I was a private, it was a lot more patience. You know, they weren't trying to kick you out on your first August 15, man.
Yeah.
Like, you show up late to formation,
Yeah.
hey, you just gonna see Smoke at 1800.
Yeah.
And he gonna deal with you. He gonna scuff you up a little bit. He put you to work, make you do some stuff, and then, hey, you know, we're gonna drive on. It wasn't no pen to paper. You know, extra duty, none of that. Now, if you keep doing it, then we got a problem.
If it's a pattern with that, then we got to execute. But
we had people. For me, like I can still remember in Germany, my first duty station, we still had, you know, wall lockers for your civilian clothes, a wall locker for your military clothes.
Yeah.
You had duffel bags on top of the wall lockers. You had to buff the floor. You had to buff the hallway. We had community showers.
Yeah.
You know,
where was you at in Germany?
Bamberg, Germany.
Bamberg.
About an hour away from Schweinfurt. Yep.
Yeah, using Bamberg.
Yep. First ID, Devarty.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had that. You know, that was one of my best, and then that was probably one of the best units I was in. We had, you know, I had my battery commander. I got in a lot of trouble when I was in Germany now. But my battery commander, he gave me my third R-15 in Germany.
Most of us did.
Yeah, he was my battalion commander when I made Tom First Class at Fort Sill. Yep, and he's like, Frazer, I remember you. I said, yeah. He's like, didn't I put you in jail? And I was like, no, but you tried. Yeah, but one of the craziest stories I always used to tell soldiers when I was at Fort Lee. So we're down in the motor pool, right? Now, you had a guy named Staff Sergeant Ruiz, Ruiz Estrada. We had a guy named Smoke Luciano. He was a Puerto Rican guy, about 6'4". Looked like an old bodybuilder. So, you know, Smoke come down in the motor pool. He's like, hey, Sergeant Ruiz, I need to get your section. Take your section and them 3 guys over there, you need to go down to main. I think they had to go pull a pack or something. And he's like, well, he said, he's like, right now, Smoke? He looked at him. He's like, yeah, damn it, right now. He's like, I don't know, Smoke. He's like, well, let me check with First Sergeant. And man, that must have triggered his PTSD. Man. He's like, hey, what the hell you say? He's like, I'm just saying, Smoke, I gotta check with First Sergeant. And I'll bullshit you now, man. He's walked over to Sergeant Ruiz, man. He grabbed him by his collar, pushed him in the connex, choked him out.
Back in the day.
Choked him out. Let him go. And then he's like, now I'll go do what the fuck I just said. And
pretty much.
Me as a private, I'm like, man. And that's when I was like, man, I'm saying for about the first 10 years, especially when I was there, I would rather if they be like, hey, you gotta go see First Sergeant. But if they say you gotta go see Smoke, man, I'm like, no, man, hey. And when I can remember being a supply sergeant. Same thing. I'd be like, hey, if I want to get something done, I'd be like, hey, smoke. And, you know, I said section chiefs, everybody come out, hey, what you need?
Yeah.
They don't want to get smoked. But yeah, man, I tell people that story all the time. One of my battle buddies that was there, he's like, every time we talk about it, he's like, man, you remember that time Smoke Luciano choked out Song Luis? He's like, man, that's like the most amazing thing. I can tell you, when I was a private in Germany, you want to talk about I didn't miss formation. Because, you know, back then, that's when they were like first arm, you know, you was getting mail, they're reading off, and you got bad checks in formation, man.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Harvey, come get this. We had a first arm Gorman. Had a guy showed up, you know, sergeant time training.
Full kit and all that.
Yeah. His stuff was all jacked up, man. He called him up front, and he's like, what section are you in? And he was like, I'm in third section. He's like, no, point at him, damn it. So he standing up there in the front of formation, man, pointing at his damn section chief. He's like, your whole section is effed up. All y'all. Whole damn section. Get down. I was like, man. Well, I didn't miss formation for nothing because ain't no telling what was going on. But it was fun. We went to the field a lot, but when we weren't in the field, it was more like, hey, you know, you work hard, play hard.
Yeah. And it's you know, I look at WTF a lot, and I know you do as well. And, you know, some of the mental army gymnastics that soldiers and leaders are going through now, and they doing this in a time where you can communicate so easily versus when we couldn't communicate that easily, but it seemed like our communication was on point, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We had where was I? Might have been at Fort Sill still. But we was having a conversation. No, I was at the Drill Sergeant Academy. And we were talking about cell phones. You know, leaders having cell phones and stuff. And they were like, well, no, in some places I think we got to have them. I was like, hey, it's good to have a cell phone. I said, but sometimes you got to communicate face to face. You know what I'm saying? Have formation and then communicate face to face. They're like, well, they got cell phones. He's like, you know, I had a partner from the 86. And he was like, no, man, because, you know, some units is rapid deployment. I said, yeah, but 82nd been rapid deployment for years. What did they do before they had cell phones? They still used to rapid deployment.
Exactly. What happened in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s?
Right. I told him, I was in Germany, and we had formation. They just called formation on a Saturday. Hey, Charlie Battery 16, formation Saturday. Like, hey, we're getting ready to go to Bosnia. Yeah. And that was it. They show up and whatever you want.
And you could be, I remember, because I was in Germany from 99 to 02, was in Hanau. And again, this is before that whole cell phone thing took place. We would be at the daggone PX or something.
Yes. They come over the intercom.
Top got formation at 1900. Don't be there. You know, so you done already had your weekend plan, so you know that has to stop. You trying to catch a cab to base and all that stuff. But you made it happen. But now you get a soldier. Soldier got a phone right now. Hey, formation at 1900. Can't get a hold of him.
Can't get a hold of him. Yeah, man. It's the Army. I talk to a lot of people because they got a lot of retired jokers in this man. I can imagine for them, you know, them Vietnam vets when by the time I was coming in, they probably were like, man.
Because think about it.
What is going on?
Think about our leaders. I tell people this all the time. Think about who our leaders were when we joined. It was the Vietnam dudes. It was the Grenada dudes. And them cats was old school.
I'm telling you, it was kind of, you know, it was crazy, but it was. I enjoyed my time, but I used to tell them, the IT soldiers, man, I'd be like, if I was the private that I was in this Army, I probably wouldn't make it past my first year. I said, because I got in so much trouble just being a knucklehead.
You
know, I said I wasn't doing nothing crazy, but you know, hey, it was discipline. Was discipline.
Exactly.
And that was it. That was it. Yeah. So, I left from there, but actually, I was in Germany for 3 years. I was single, and I can remember they had a message. They were like, "Hey, Frazer needs to get out of Germany. He's been here for almost 3 years." And I don't know why they thought I was married. There was another guy named Frazer he was in service battery. My middle name was his first name. So I don't know. Maybe they thought I was him. I don't know what. But then they were like, hey, man, yeah, this guy, Fort Hood expecting this guy like 30 days ago. I was like, oh. So I wound up going to Fort Hood. I was supposed to be going to another artillery unit, 442 FA. They wound up sending me to 49 Movement Control Battalion. And I'm going to tell you, you talking about a change?
Yeah.
Now, I'm coming from Germany. We're going to the field, doing all this. I show up there, man, and it was a movement control battalion. So it wasn't that big.
Right. Yeah, they all use it small.
There were nine male soldiers in the battalion. And I can remember seeing signs on the first sergeant's door like, hey, air appointment at 3 o'clock. I'll be back. So we had the Sergeant Major Francois. She was 88 Mike. Showed up, she was trying to turn the unit around. We were going to the field. So they're like, hey, we're going to the field. So you know me, I'm coming from Germany. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Show up with all my stuff. I'm ready. Yeah. They looking at me, man, like I was crazy. What you doing? I was like, we're going to the field. They're like, no, man, it ain't gonna do it. They just went out there, they set up the tent.
Yeah.
Got in the Humvees and drove back to Fort Hood.
I'll be bringing that over here.
Fort Hood and just driving out there in the daytime. I was like, man, what in the world? They're like, yeah, man, this ain't no. They're like, you ain't in Germany no more. I was like, really? It's not.
And people,
I got up out there fast. I got up out there real fast.
And people don't realize, as much as military we move around all these years, it's like duty stations have their own uniqueness about them.
Oh yeah.
And no duty station is the same. Just like you say, you came from Bamberg, Germany, where y'all doing something every second of the second. And you think that's ingrained in your mindset. You go in there and all of a sudden it's like, no, man, we don't do all this. It's a culture shock, more or less.
Yeah. Yep.
That's why I always said, and I think we talked about this when we was in Korea, it's always good to have that first horrible, difficult assignment as your first one. Yep. Because it sets the tone for your whole career if you decide to stay in.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I'll tell you a story about the day I was going to get out of the Army. I was out in Graf. It was about October, getting ready to be November. Cold, raining.
Yeah.
And we out there. I was in the prone position. I said, back then, I used to tell the soldiers, I was like, back then, we didn't have Vortex. It was a field jacket.
Yep.
And a poncho. So I'm out there, man, in the prone position with my weapon, pointing at just trees.
Yeah.
Rain dripping down my Kevlar, running down the inside of my field jacket. And man, I'm telling you, that day I was like, I'm not doing this. They can cancel Christmas and come time for me to re-enlist. I ain't no way. No way. And I had that same first time going, man. We had a GI party that lasted the whole weekend. But I remember I was going to get out the Army, and he was like, I'm not in the business of telling people to stay in or get out. He said, but I want you to, go, and for the next week, I want you to sit down and count the amount of hours that you work. And then he said, if you want to, he said, I'm not talking about being here. I said, I'm talking about physically engaged in doing something.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, man, that's why I tell people no harm. It's the easiest job I ever had.
It is.
Because, in a week, I think in a week, we probably physically worked 12, 13 hours.
Yeah.
Now, like what I tell soldiers, I used to tell soldiers now once you get up in rank and you got to go to meetings and all that, and then it's different. But from E1 to E4, E5, man.
Life was good.
Yeah.
Life was good. You released early and NCOs got to stay. Life was great.
Yep. And so I left Fort Hood. I re-enlisted to leave there. I was like, man, I was only there for a year. Re-enlisted and went to Fort SILL. And I got to Fort SILL. I was in Bravo Battery, 2-2 FA. I was in the Salute Battery. They were going to the field every day. And I'm telling you, they would go to the field every day, shoot rounds, come back, go to the wash rack, clean the guns, clean the truck, clean the tools, pack everything up in the Connex, and then go right back out in the field the next day.
Yeah.
They did that every day. They were shooting about 1,000 rounds a week. And they would do that every day. And then on holidays, we did salute.
Yeah.
You know, July 4th, Memorial Day, all that stuff.
Yep.
And then, you know, I had a first sergeant there. First Sergeant Swinney. He taught me how to write interiors because I had just got promoted.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he saw my first interior. He's like, he didn't cuss. So he's like, hey, man, who wrote this mess for you? I'm like, the LT. He's like, man, don't you ever let no mother hutcher do no mess like this to you again. He said, you ain't gonna get promoted with this. I ain't know no better. I was like, oh, so you tell me that? He's like, man, I'm gonna teach you how to run the interior. So I was there for about 2 years, and then 9/11 hit.
Yeah.
9/11, I was on staff. I was getting off of staff duty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I seen the planes, and I was like, man. I said, man, a pilot just ran the planes into the tower. And we were sitting there, my sergeant major came out, and he's like, oh, there go another one. So, you know, we did all that. I'm just thinking, man, so we left. The next day, man, was haywire. By the time I woke up, it was haywire. You couldn't get on post. They were calling it like, hey, essential personnel only. Yeah. You know, I remember my first sergeant, he was like, hey, man, if you ain't made it to Rogers Lane by now, just turn around and go back home. By the time you get here, it's gonna be time to go home. So went through that whole deal, and then it was, hey, at that time, you know, at that time I was on the TRADOC side of Fort Sill. I got orders to go to the other side because they were needing people to deploy. Yeah. I got sent over to 117 FA. And
boy, you stayed in some FA units.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 117 FA. Got General Vandal was my brigade commander.
I remember General Vandal.
Commander. Yep, he was the brigade commander when I went over there. So went over there January. You know, we started packing up. Sat around, we were part of that old 4th ID fiasco where we sat around waiting to try to see if we were gonna go do Turkey or whatever. Yeah. Wind up getting there. Yeah, I had a battery commander named Captain Nelson. Well, we were in Iraq. And this was the first time I ever seen a commander about to get relieved, man. You know, he was one of those guys that was like, you know, he was the smartest person in his class. Yeah. You know, thought he knew everything. Yeah. And, you know, the first sergeant was kind of checked out. He was like, hey, got time to deal with that. Mm-hmm. At the time. And General Ordiano, he was the 4th ID commander then. Yeah. Ray Ordiano. Yep. Showed up at our camp, did a walkthrough. You know, we were sleeping on duffel bags, cots with no legs, sleeping on the top of 5 tons. Hot as hell. Yes. Sand fly bites all up on all kinds of stuff, man. And he told him right there. He said, I'll be back on Tuesday. This was like on a Monday afternoon. He said, I'll be back next Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And he's like, depending on what I see, it would determine whether or not you're the commander or not. And what I tell you, that night, he had a meeting with all the NCOs. I really need y'all. And that first on Daniel, I gave him a lot of respect. As much as that dude used to try to treat him a certain way, he was I'm just personal feelings to the side. Yeah. Let's make this happen. Yeah. You gotta get stuff done, you know. So we were going downtown, you know, buying stuff. And I talked to Smoke Wallace, man. I talked to him now. I be thinking like, man, it was me, Smoke Wallace, a medic, his driver, and maybe like 2 other cats, man. And like 2 Humvees riding around downtown in the middle of some town close. We were up by the Iran border. Mm-hmm. Just riding around, man. We down there. All they could have kidnapped us and did all kinds of stuff, man. We talk about that stuff now. I'd be like, man, that was crazy. We was doing that. You know, soft shell Humvees, like like it ain't exactly. Nothing. Yeah, that was way before the up armored and all that. Yep. So we did all that. First sergeant, he wound up leaving, and that's when First Sergeant Short came. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, man. So we got back from Iraq, and I can remember, you know, we got all our stuff back. Got a new commander came in, Captain Heinz Roth. So it was him in the first sergeant,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a Wednesday afternoon. He didn't say nothing. He just walked around. You know, he walked through the motor pool, walked through the barracks, and then that Friday, like 9:30, he had a formation. He sent every soldier home. Every single soldier in the battery sent them home.
Mm-hmm.
Kept the NCOs there. We cleaned weapons.
Yeah.
Cleaned crew serves. Swept the motor pool. Cut the grass.
Mm-hmm.
We did everything, man, in the motor pool. And then after that, he was like, hey, now y'all know the standard.
Yep.
And he's like, so I don't expect it. Y'all know exactly what needs to get done.
Exactly.
But that's how he was. One thing I like about him, we go to the field, and he'd come back from the field, and he was like, he just made the Army seem so easy, man.
Yeah.
He'd come back from the field, and he was like, hey, we get, 20 soldiers. And they were like the weapons cleaning team. They just gonna clean all the weapons,
Yep.
Get about 15 or 20 soldiers and drivers and TCs. They just gonna take all the vehicles to the wash rack and come back.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that with everything. After we used to get done recovering in about 2 days, man, and then we'll be at the YMCA playing basketball in civilian clothes and stuff. Because he was like, hey, it's a team thing, man. We're gonna, instead of every section worrying about your section.
Yeah.
Because it don't matter if your section done if the rest of the battery ain't done. We still ain't done.
Because exactly. Exactly.
And that was probably the best unit I was in. 117. I was in that battery for 5 years.
Okay.
I got there as an E5. I left there as a staff sergeant promoted.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And went to Korea the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did everything, man. I was supposed to go to drill sergeant school when I was there, but then we deployed again.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Iraq. That's when we had, they started bringing in the ACUs and black berets and all that crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. That Fort SILL, first sergeant Short, man, he was one of those people that was just like, hey, everything just seemed so simple, so simple. He's like, hey, I remember I was E5 trying to make E6, and I was like, man, these points keep going up and up, and he's like, what you even worried about the points for?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, just max out. You ain't got to worry about it.
Exactly.
He said, quit looking at the points every month. He said, do what you got to do to max out. We did PT, and it came time for our PT. We had a battery PT average of 284.
Oh, wow.
With no failures. When it came time for the PT test, for the whole month, all we would do was PT, prepping for the PT test. And the people that were giving PT, they weren't doing it. He was like, hey, a personal trainer don't get out there and exercise with you. They tell you what to do. They show you what to do.
Exactly.
So he was like, man, get us out there. And that was it. We would run. I remember we would sprint damn near a mile. Just full sprint. We didn't even have a C group. We had a A train and then an A group. And then you had a couple people in B.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, our PT test, man, by about 15 minutes, we only had about maybe 10 or 15 people. Everybody else was coming in. I ran that fastest time I ever ran, a 12:47. But that's how he was. Everything that he did, man, it was like, man, I don't know how he did it, honestly. But this dude was just like.
But you see how you and including everybody in your unit, how y'all excelled under that leadership.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. We went to Iraq, and he would tell us, he was like, hey, when I got promoted to staff sergeant, so he had all of us, man. He's like, if y'all listen to me and follow me, I trust me, you're gonna get promoted.
Yeah.
And the 13 Bravos, what he did was when we deployed the second time, he was like, he ran every platoon like it was a company. So he was like, hey, sir, you the commander, that's your first sergeant. You the commander, I'm the sergeant major, this is the battalion commander.
Right.
And he was rating them as platoon sergeants. And it made him do a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, when we all got back, it was like, bam, it's all first grade. Everybody was making the list.
Yeah.
Drill sergeant, recruiter.
Yeah.
ROTC. You get all these assignments, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because he was making phone calls like, hey, I want to get this guy in drill sergeant. Hey, I want to get this guy in recruiter. He was taking care of people. You had to work. You do your job, but all of us, man. We all. I don't think none of us at that time that was there at that time. They all retired at least. Master Sergeant. Some of them Sergeant Major.
Yeah.
A couple of them CW4 and stuff. But yeah, man. First Sergeant Short, man. He was. You know how they be having them NBA coaching trees?
Right.
That's how we used to call it. He's like, hey, we first Sergeant Short leadership team, man. He's like, hey, this Sergeant Major here, this first Sergeant here, this first Sergeant here. Yeah, man. He was a good dude, man. Good dude.
So when
that's the first person I ever talked to NCOs about finances, managing your money, stuff like that. You know, he was talking to people about retirement. He's like, hey, you need to have an exit strategy 15 years, man. You need to have what you're going to do when you get out the Army.
Yep.
You know? Yeah, he had made Sergeant Major in about 14 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was hard charging. He was like drill sergeant of the year, you know, airborne, aerosol, ranger, all this stuff. Yeah, I remember when he made Sergeant Major. He's like, yeah, man, I'm broke down now. I can't do none of that high speed stuff. But yeah. That was a good dude, man. He was one of the people I kept in touch with him. When I left Fort Sill, hell, everywhere I went, I used to talk to him. Everywhere.
So when you left Fort Sill, you went to Korea the first time, right?
Yep.
And you know, fun fact, we talked about this when we were in Korea that last time. Me and you was in Korea that same time because I was there 07, 08.
Yep, me too. 07, I got there July 11th, 2007.
Yeah, because I got there June.
No, I got there July 11th, 2008. That's when I got there. And I left 2009.
Yeah, I got there 07. July 07. I left July 08.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I was in old second cab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my first non-artillery unit.
Yep, 602nd.
Yep. My wife was in 602nd.
Yep, because I remember, because I forgot the chief that used to run the SSA. She had when I was there, a Lincoln Navigator.
Was there.
That's who it was. That's who it was. Yeah, she was there.
My wife couldn't stand her. Everybody used to talk about how mean she was. She was always nice to me. So people were like, she must have liked you. I was like, no, man, the chief was cool. I said, nah, I used to go in the chief office, man, because they'd be like, she ain't never let nobody just walk in her office. I was like, I you walk in there? Yeah.
Because she didn't. We had a love-hate relationship because me being the alpha and I worked in the SPO. So you know when cats in the SSA, they look at the guys in the SPO like, you know, we in the house and they in the field.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's what I used to tell my wife. I said, she treat y'all like that because y'all down there. I come down there. I was the S4 then. I'd come down there and just chop it up with Chief, man. I'm like, hey, Chief, what's going on? And she's like, no, man, Chief Riley wasn't no joke. But
Nah, she was cool though. Like you said, you couldn't just be running up in there.
No.
You know what I mean? She wasn't like that. So when you left Korea, is that when you went to the drill? You was drill sergeant. You was drill sergeant leader, right?
So I left Korea. I went to ANOC en route. And then I was supposed to be going to Fort Stewart.
Right.
And then they wound up sending me to Fort Hood. So while we were in ANOC, this is when the branch was still up in DC.
Yep.
A bunch of us drove up there, man, and sat down with the branches. And she was like, well, this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to send you to 21st Cav. So I went to 21st Cav. It was an aviation training brigade. You know, just a bunch of TDY, training National Guard and Reserve, Apache units. Pretty much just doing nothing.
Yep.
And then I did that for about a year and a half, 2 years. And I was supposed to be going to Southcom down in Homestead, Florida, down by Miami.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, I wanted that assignment so bad. They were like, yep, you leaving. I used to go in there and check. I used to go in there probably about every week just to look at it. Just look at the assignment. and 1 week I went on there, it wasn't there.
What?
I called Brent. I'm like, hey, my assignment disappeared. And he's like, well, hold on. Came back, he's like, oh. He said, yeah, you've been on the drill sergeant branch, man. I can't touch you.
You can't.
I was like, what? He's like, yeah, man. Yeah, this. And I called it. I tried everything to get out of that assignment. Then left from there, went to drill sergeant school, went to good old Fort Lee.
Yeah.
I was there so I got to Fort Lee in January. I was in the 92 Fox uniform company. Got there, I think I had 3 classes. In about May time frame, the first sergeant at the time, man, First Sergeant Martinez, he was like, hey, I need to see you. I went in his office, nothing on the wall, nothing on the desk. He gave me the keys, man. He's like, all right, the Sergeant Major want to see you at 1300, man. Said, if y'all need me, I'm up at brigade. You in charge now.
Yeah.
I said, what?
What a handoff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll go to see Sergeant Major, man. Sergeant Major Wells. He was like, oh, you the one he picked? I was like, I guess.
Yeah.
I did that. Sergeant Major Bell, he was the brigade Sergeant Major at the time. So I had to go see him. He was like,
he used to be the G4, right? That Sergeant Major Bell?
Yep.
Yep.
So he was like, hey, you know, the job is yours as long as you're good. He said, like, if I call you and tell you come see me first, just bring the keys.
Yeah.
So I did that, left from there, and this was a crazy thing. So they had a master sergeant that was he was a first sergeant in one of the other battalions. I guess he had got relieved or whatever. And they was kind of trying to move him around. So he was coming to our battalion. Sergeant Major was like, hey, I got a master sergeant that want the job. He's like, I'll let you pick if you want to stay in the company or you want to go to another battalion, go to another company, or whatever. I said, no, I'll stay in the company. I ain't got no issue, you know.
Yeah.
Because he always used to laugh at me because he was like, I was an E7, Sergeant First Class at the time, and I'd be talking to the other first sergeant, and I'd be standing at parade dress. And he'd be like, why you standing at parade dress? And I'd be like, because I'm a Sergeant First Class. They're first sergeant.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, those your battle buddies. I say, well, I mean, that's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
So the new first sergeant came. And in about 3 weeks, man, the Sergeant Major called me in his office again. He said, hey, I got the movie, man. Hey, you know, these soldiers still think you the first sergeant. he moved me to Charlie Company. 2 weeks later, no, this was about right before block leave. So middle of January so about 2 weeks after we came back from block leave. I get a call like 3 o'clock in the morning, man. Hey, need y'all up in the battalion conference room. So I go to the battalion conference room, man. The brigade commander there, Sergeant Major Bell there, battalion sergeant major, the battalion commander, all the platoon sergeants there. The first sergeant ran his wife off the road, got in the car, shot her, got back in his car, called the MPs, and shot himself.
Wow.
Yep. First Sergeant Davidson. That was his name. Yep. They had 5 kids. I was like, what? Yep. So they were like, yeah. At that time, I was like, wow. So it was. Yeah. That was the first time I ever seen how, because the way that happened, it messed up that whole company. And, you know, the commander, he was like, whoa. You know, because this dude, I guess he had like, you know, some domestic violence stuff, and he wasn't even supposed to have no weapons with him, all kinds of stuff, man. So I went through that whole deal. And then I was in Charlie Company then, and then I got a visit from a guy named Sergeant Major Campbell and the drill sergeant of the year. And they were like, hey, you know, we putting together this AIT platoon sergeant 6-week program.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, they want you to come down there. It was like 5 or 6 of us. I guess they picked one from each installation. The drill sergeant of the year was going around and picking. So that's when I went to the drill sergeant academy. And we were there, man. I love that place, man. Hey, we had.
I know you used to talk about it all the time. Man,
that place was probably some of the most knowledgeable NCOs ever. And I remember Sergeant Major Christian. Sergeant Major Christian on every billboard, every recruiting. You know that Gatorade commercial? The hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him singing cadence, man. When he was a drill sergeant at Fort Benning.
Was you there at the academy when Sergeant Major
King?
King, when she was there?
No.
Okay.
So when she was there, no, I seen her. I met her. She still comes to drill sergeant graduation and everything. So I met her, but I know a lot of people that know her.
Yeah.
But yeah, she seemed like a cool person. But yeah, Sergeant Major King, Sergeant Major Christian. He said, "You're not a drill sergeant. You are a non-commissioned officer fulfilling the role of a drill sergeant." He said, "Just remember that.
Yeah.
Like, we're not teaching you to be nothing. These are basic NCO skills that you should have anyway."
Yeah. Just enhancing them.
Yep. So he was like, but you know, in my time there, man, I still run into people now.
Yeah.
They were like, "Man, you my drill sergeant." And then when I became the chief instructor up there, you know, we rewrote that program. I can remember getting phone calls from the TRADOC sergeant majors because we got too many people that fail.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I remember you said you and some of your other peers, y'all had rewrote the program and everything.
Yeah, we took everything. All we did was take the drill sergeant POI, took out BRM, and then took out combatives, and changed everything from drill sergeant to AIT platoon sergeant. You know, did the same. We didn't do any modules that had to do with weapons,
right?
But everything else,
we
took it, branded it, you know, took it to the drill sergeant proponent. They blessed off on it, and that was that. And then by the time my time was getting ready to be done, we were transitioning to bringing the drill sergeants back to AIT.
Yeah.
So we had to.
Y'all walking? Yeah.
So just to give you a timestamp, we got about I booked the hour on Zoom, so we got about 9 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So then I left from there, came to Korea.
Yeah.
Hey, when I got there, I can remember being in formation one day, man. Because I wasn't even supposed to be in 70 at BSB.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't even supposed to be in 70 at BSB. I was supposed to be going to Daegu to be the 2nd Sustainment Brigade S4.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you said that.
I got there, you know, I was like, maybe, how long was I there? Maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe. You know, the first sergeant was there, the commander. And I was just like, man, what is going on in this company, man? What are we doing? What's really going on?
Yeah.
And then I went to Sergeant Major Brown's office, man, and he probably told y'all the story on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
I walked down there because I used to go to the gym, you know. And then I go to Smoothie King, grab my smoothie, and
oh man, Smoothie King.
And then so I went in his office and sat down with him, and I was like, hey, I know at the time they didn't want me to be the first one, so I was like, hey, I can train, you know, the NCOs. I got some skills I can train them up on.
Yeah.
I was like, I can train. And he's like, well, so then we make a decision. He's like, hey, we're gonna let you take over, get the whole first arm position. But yeah, man, that company, man, it was something else, man.
Yeah.
It was something else.
Yeah.
It was a lot of things that were just my thing at the time. And I think the Drill Sergeant Academy prepared me for Korea a lot, because I can remember going to the Sergeant Major Christian, man, like, man, because we would get NCOs, man, Staff Sergeant, Sergeant First Class, in the Drill Sergeant Academy, and I'm like, well, how do you not know this?
Exactly.
He used to tell me all the time. He said, man, you looking at rank and basing your expectations off of that.
Yeah.
He said, but everybody hasn't been in the same place. He said,
they haven't.
I can have a 11 Bravo that was maybe the sergeant major's driver for 3 years and then went to be recruited.
Yeah.
And then he shows up to my battalion as a staff sergeant, and I'm like,
don't even know how to clear a room.
How do you not know how to do this? Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
He never had to do it.
Yeah.
So that mind frame, I was like, okay. So his thing was, hey, you show them,
Yeah.
you train them,
Yep.
you give them an honest assessment, because that's what we used to do at the drill sergeant. The hardest thing to do at the drill sergeant academy for me was you had to just watch them mess up.
Yeah.
Because you got to give them an honest assessment and be like, hey,
Yeah.
look, well, this is where you messed up at. This is where you messed up at.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so when I got to Korea, I was more of the mind frame of, I'm not here to teach you how to do your job. I always just tell the candidates, I'm not here to make you a leader. You're a leader. You got greatness in you.
Yeah.
We just got to find a way to get it out.
Exactly. Because it's there.
Yeah, it's there. Just I can, based on the rank on your collar, I can tell it's in there. You don't just make rank like that.
No.
I tell people, contrary to popular opinion, the Army just doesn't promote people that. No. You have done something that says, hey, okay, this person is here.
Yep.
So
exactly.
You're doing that. I got to Korea, I was more in the mindset of, yep. And I understood, the structure of, hey, that's why my target audience was always the sergeants and the staff sergeants.
Yep.
Because if you train them, like Sergeant Major Christian had this saying, he was like, if the NCO is the backbone of the Army, the sergeant and staff sergeant are the nerves of the backbone.
That's it. That is it.
Because I don't care how good your backbone is. If your nerves bad, you're always gonna be in pain.
Yes. Yes.
So he was like, hey, you train them to do that. Because two things that happens when you do that. It gives them confidence in themselves, but it gives the soldiers confidence in them. Because if I don't believe that my NCO know what he's talking about, and those are the ones that's going to be around him most of the time,
soldiers ain't gonna believe it.
I'm going to be going to that Sergeant First Class all the time.
Yeah.
If they tell me something, I'm going to listen to them.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go check with the Sergeant First Class just to make sure that.
Just exactly.
So you're always going to have that problem. So but yeah, and then it's like everything just fell into place, Sergeant Major got there. Sergeant Major got there not long before I did. Then Colonel Downey got there.
Yeah.
Captain Rand got there. I got there. Then we had you guys, Captain Coffee. It was like everybody just came.
Yeah.
It was like back to back, month after month. Colonel, brigade commander got there maybe like 3 weeks after I got there.
Yeah.
It was just everything just fell in. It was like a perfect storm, like you said.
It was
like a perfect storm.
It was.
And I was like, man, when I left that place, I even when I got here, I was like, man, I remember wanting to stay there longer. I was like, man, because I didn't want to leave. Because I was like, man, I don't want to leave unfinished business.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it was like, man, hey, I had to go. But yeah, I talk about 70 at BSB, man, like
all day, man.
That place was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was.
Major Brown, man, I'll never forget what he told me. He's like, expectations and accountability. That's it. Expectations and accountability.
That's it.
But yeah,
it was great. Still talk to these cats, man, and it's just amazing. Like you said, man, it was a hodgepodge of great leaders. Probably more importantly, great people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
it was.
There's one thing I always say about Colonel Donahue and Sergeant Major Brown, man. I tell them, I've had a lot of leaders that say they care about soldiers and care about, but I never met two leaders that genuinely care about you, not what you can do as a soldier, what you can do as a battalion. It was like as a person. Yeah, like they genuinely cared about you.
They did. Phenomenal people. We got we had 58 minutes and 20 seconds. Want to wrap it up because I don't want Zoom because I only booked like for an hour on here.
Oh yeah.
Maybe next time I'll book longer. But I want to say, I appreciate you, coming on, taking time out your busy retirement contracting day. You know what I mean? To hang out. I definitely want to tell you, appreciate you promoting me. You was part of my promotion party when I got promoted the Master Sergeant. So I definitely appreciate that. All the knowledge, the wisdom, the conversations we had about life, marriage, everything. So I definitely appreciate that. You know what I mean? Always a trusted confidant that I knew if I told you something, it was just between us. So
Yep.
definitely appreciate that.
Likewise, man. I remember I used to come down to there. That was my safe space. I come down to the S3 and just vent. I come in your office, man. I just stand there by the door. Man, I don't know what the hell. And that's one thing I love. Another thing I love about Korea, man, is like I had you, I had Master on Lemon, Master on Walton.
Yep.
So it was like, I used to tell Charmaine, I got my assistant first sergeants, man. They helped kept me on the throat, man.
No doubt.
Yeah, it was great. It was great, man.
Good time.
That's one of them things that almost changed my mind from retiring.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate everything, man. We'll definitely continue to be in touch like we always been. So definitely appreciate that.
All right. Yep.
All right. Peace, bro. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, man. Peace.
Yep.